Great to have you with us as we bring you the Coach Boynton Show throughout the rest of the basketball season. And let's just jump right in. Obviously, our fans have been following the team. And, you think about what's going on. You had a lot of injuries early. You had a lot of new players, a lot of freshmen. Is the team just starting now to sort of settle in, for lack of a better description, getting comfortable?
Yeah, I think in many ways, everybody's starting to get comfortable with each other. Our team's starting to get a little bit of connective tissue, if you will.
Yeah.
Guys understanding how they can help one another be successful. And in turn, the product on the floor collectively is looking better. There's more fluidity in our play. And a lot of it has to do with just the continuity that we've been able to play with over the last really 3 weeks, and the practice time that we've been able to have since school's been out with Christmas break. So absolutely, I think our team's getting better. I think our guys are starting to see where they can go with this, and they're eager to see what happens as we go into conference play.
Of course, it's not as if you can anticipate injuries, but you knew you had a new team. Was there anything that you were able to do to sort of help accelerate the process of the guys becoming connected? Or is it something that just has to happen on its own time?
Yeah, and honestly, we wanted to accelerate that process. The injuries kind of threw a little bit of a monkey wrench in that. We didn't expect to not have Javon Small, who undoubtedly is our best player, to start the season. That wasn't ideal. And then Bryce Thompson going down about a week and a half later for about 3 games straight as our best returning player, most experienced guy, didn't help either. So I think having those guys have the lion's share of minutes here over the last 2 weeks, you start to see what we believe we can ultimately become as a team that's led by those 2 guys.
Yeah, you think about that. They're your 2 leading scorers, but they haven't played together. And no offense to your previous point guards, but Javon Small brings an element to the point guard position you've not had in a while. Bryce isn't used to playing with a guy like that. So the inability of those guys to play a lot together in November is probably a bigger deal than people realize, because it's probably an adjustment for Bryce in terms of, hey, how do I score now versus the previous couple of years?
No question. We've had those conversations, Bryce and I, directly, and he talked about making that adjustment to not having to create his own shot as often, and being able to trust that his teammates will find him in positions that he can be most successful. And totally honest, we need him to be a big scorer for us. We need those 2 guys to be productive as experienced college basketball players in an age where experience is a big deal, as big a deal as it's ever been in our sport. You need your 2 guys who played the most in the most critical positions to be on the court together and have some of those reps. So the last 2 weeks, seeing those guys play together, particularly seeing Bryce get more comfortable with that, and being able to be confident in that he's going to be able to score the points that he needs to for our team to win, is really, really a positive thing as we look ahead.
5 straight wins, as a matter of fact, for the Cowboys going into conference play. 3-point shooting has been really good. In fact, you're on a pace to set the school record for 3-point baskets in a season. The assist numbers have been really good. The defensive rebounding numbers have been really good. There are others as well. But what's maybe hidden that is not so obvious, that's been better, that's been really good during this 5-game win streak?
I think just our defensive presence is something that I didn't expect to be as good as it's been through the non-conference. And we've needed it to be because we've been down. But a lot of times it takes a while for guys who are new, many of which are young, to buy into the defensive side of basketball. So credit to our staff for being able to get our guys to understand that it's a really, really critical piece to being successful in our conference. And so getting really good and at it in the non-conference was vital to as we transition to playing Baylor on Saturday. Being able to feel like we'll give ourselves a chance, even on nights where we don't necessarily shoot the ball great. And we hope those are few and far between, but we know that's the part of basketball. You're not going to shoot the ball great every night. We didn't shoot the ball great in the second half of last night's game, but you got to continue to defend at a high level and give yourself a chance to come out with a win.
So as I mentioned, the 3-point shooting has been great. In fact, you're among the national leaders in 3-point shooting. You're averaging about 10 made threes per game. So what's the balance to that? Not really the balance, but what will happen offensively once you get into conference play if you continue to show that type of success from 3-point range? What's the impact of that? How else will you be able to score? What happens?
Well, first and foremost, what happens is teams will adjust to trying to make us play inside the 3-point line. We've played teams like that. We've been really good defending the 3 for the most part in previous seasons. So we understand how to counter that. And then you need Bryce and Javon in particular to know how to play off shot facing and ball screens. What it'll open up is opportunities for Brandon Garrison, Keon Williams, and Eric Daly in particular to drive the ball and get themselves in position to score layups and get to the free throw line. It also puts you in position where teams are having to fly at you that you can get maybe some more offensive rebounds and get some easier baskets that way.
So the conference opener, the Baylor Bears will be here ending this homestand. They're ranked number 18 in the country. Their only 2 losses have come to Duke and Michigan State. Is it the same Baylor team in terms of what they do? Is it different? What do you see?
Yeah, first the 2 losses, Michigan State in Detroit, so quasi home game.
Yeah.
And Duke at the Garden, which many people would say is sort of a home game for Duke in many ways. But they're really good. Coach Drew's teams are always very well prepared. Great athletes. They got tremendous size up front. Got a really good freshman guard who's playing as well as anybody in our conference now, probably the leader for freshman of the year in the league. And so we got to be ready for a team that shoots a lot of threes, but also has great presence as a rebounding team. They do a really good job on the offensive glass. And we got to play with a great sense of urgency. It's really, really key in conference play that you get off to a good start and protect your home court. And so we need as many people who are available to come out. We still don't have our students back, but anybody in town, we need them to come out and give us a great atmosphere at home so we can get off to a good start in conference play.
As much maybe as any team in the conference the last couple of years, Baylor a really good shooting team, but your length, the way that you played seemed to really bother them. 2 years ago, you upset them when they were ranked number 1 in the country in Waco, Texas. You could have easily swept them. You had a chance to sweep them, lost a close game here. Could have beaten them here last year. Now your team is different. It's built a little bit differently. Is there anything that can carry over from how you played the last couple of years to this year when you really seem to be a challenge for them to deal with?
Yeah, this will be the first test of how our offense and our ability to shoot the basketball translates in conference play. Yeah. And that's been the challenge with us the last couple of years is getting away from teams because we haven't been as efficient on the offensive end. We've been really, really stout defensively, but now trying to find that balance. And can we win games in our conference on the offensive end? And I'm looking forward to seeing how our offense, as it continues to evolve, gives us great chances to maybe close out some games that we've been coming up short in conference play in the past.
And we're all looking forward to that, as well as the conference opener as the Cowboys take on the Baylor Bears Saturday at 2, and we'll see you next week.